So, you're thinking of moving to Austin. Well, in today's video, we are talking about whether or not right now is a good time to buy. Let's go. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. It's Dominique here. I am a local realtor in the greater Austin area. And today we're talking about whether or not it's a good time to buy, but more specifically, when it might not be a good time for you to buy. So I have a few things on my list. We'll go straight through them. But basically, I just have a few things that if they apply to you, I think it may be good to hold off on buying. Maybe just waiting a little bit longer. Just kind of give it more thought before just jumping straight into buying. So let's get started. So number one, if you don't plan on hanging around. So the average time that people stay in their homes is 8 years. The number is actually higher. The median number is a little over 13 years. So that's increased over the last several years by, I think, 3 years. So it continues to go up, and a lot contributes to that. The prices, of course, especially for the Austin area, things have gone up a ton over the last few years. This last year, things have definitely calmed down because of the interest rates. I've talked about that in previous videos. But you know, the higher prices, higher taxes, all of these things contribute to sellers staying put in their homes. You know, they're thinking, well, where would I actually go if I did consider moving to a new area? You know, maybe they don't want to, maybe they don't have the down payment, maybe they just don't want a higher mortgage because of the interest rates. A lot of things go into that. But people are definitely staying longer in their homes. So if you are, you know, kind of thinking, well, I would like to, you know, make a profit in the next 2, 3, 4 years, I would say that's probably not a good idea, because you just don't know what's gonna happen. When 2020 hit, we saw a lot of growth. A lot of my clients who bought in 2020, 2021 have a lot of equity in their homes now. But, you know, that is just kind of a one-off when you look at the history of real estate. It doesn't look like we're gonna see something like that anytime soon. Interest rates have been going down in the last week, actually. There was a report that came out the other day that the Fed is considering dropping rates maybe 3 times over 2024. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. I've heard that things may get better in the summertime, and then some say we're just gonna have to wait until 2025. So who knows? Nobody has a crystal ball, nobody knows. We will see. We'll see what the economy does. We'll see what happens with inflation. All of those things are going to affect things. But anyway, if you are, you know, hoping to turn a profit really quickly, you know, real estate is not the thing for you, because you want to look at it as a long-term investment. You want to, you know, look at it 5, 6, 7, 10 years plus, and you want to buy and you want to hold as long as possible. Other things you want to consider, of course, if you are looking at buying and selling, are the expenses that come with it. There's the title policy, new surveys, realtor fees, all of these things that go into considering whether or not you want to invest in real estate. So if you're wanting to, you know, maybe you don't want to stay in the Austin area, or you're not sure where you want to be in the country, then renting is a great option, because then it gives you flexibility to move around. It gives you flexibility to, you know, change jobs if you want. Of course, you can do that with a home, but there's just a lot more to consider when you've purchased a home, and you have to look at, you know, how much equity you have, what you can get for your house, all of the expenses associated with that. So that's my number one on the list, is if you don't plan on hanging around for a while, then maybe hold off. Number 2 on my list is to hold off when the numbers don't make sense. And this is pretty simple. So maybe you are looking for an investment property. You want an investment property in the Austin area, and your goal is, you know, maybe you want to flip something and you want to turn a profit in the next year or so. Maybe you want to get an investment property that you plan to rent out long term, but you really want something that's going to cash flow. Well, it is very hard to invest in a property in Austin as an investment property that cash flows. You have to put a lot down. depending on the area where you're buying, the rent will not cover those monthly expenditures that you're gonna have. So that is a big thing. I think people think, oh, Austin is so popular, everybody's moving to Austin, it's a good investment. There are deals to be had, but it's not like it was 10 years ago. So you really have to dig for a deal and look at properties that maybe, you know, need some renovations to bring them up, and you're going to be buying the property at a significant discount compared to, you know, market prices. So that's one of the reasons when the numbers don't make sense. Another thing is, you know, where are you going to be working? Are you wanting to be, like, say you need to be in downtown Austin and you don't want to commute, but you can only afford a property that's gonna be, you know, in the outskirts of Austin or in the suburbs of Austin, but you'd be completely comfortable paying rent downtown, or, you know, because obviously you have to consider all of the monthly expenses. You have to consider taxes and insurance and HOA and maintenance, all these things that go into home ownership. So if you're not prepared for those things, or you don't want to deal with them, then, you know, that's a good reason to hold off. In the last year, rentals have also seen a little bit of a decrease, not much. You know, people obviously always need housing in Austin, and when things are priced appropriately, they go pretty quickly. But, you know, we're not getting the same rents that we were, you know, say a year ago. Things did start to slow down in the rental market as well. So, you know, you can get some good deals depending on, like I said, on what area of town you're looking for, what your budget is, how many bedrooms you need, etc. So that's number two. When the numbers don't make sense, wait or pass. And number three, which I kind of touched on it in number two, is if you don't want to deal with the maintenance, then don't buy a house. That is just something that comes with home ownership. One thing you want to do always, I mean, you want to do this in life, but especially once you own a home, is you want to have an emergency fund. You want to have an account that you're putting money in regularly for when unexpected repairs come up, and they will come up. And I actually had a friend of mine messaged me the other day asking about home warranties, and I have had clients that have had success with home warranties, but they're not foolproof. You really have to read your policy to see what is covered, and really they're more for, you know, big expenses that come up. You know, if your HVAC system goes out, or your water heater goes out, or big things. And I have had clients who the home warranty covers them, and then other times they're not covered. And so you really want to read your policy and see what's excluded, shop around, check the pricing, check the reviews, look into all of that. But of course you want to have an emergency fund in case things come up. One of the things with home warranties is that you're stuck with whichever vendor that particular company works with. So you don't have a say in who's coming over to fix your water heater or your dishwasher or anything like that. So you're not able to vet the people. You're not able to get, you know, referrals, recommendations from friends and family. So that's something that you want to keep in mind that's important. Now with new construction, they do have builder warranties, and those are usually 1, 2, and 10 year. 1 year, everything is usually covered within the home. 2 years, it's mechanical systems. So your HVAC, your water heater, you know, your appliances, all of those are covered. Or a lot of times the appliances are covered by the manufacturer. And then 10 year is structural. And I've seen some builders do another warranty in there for like flooding. So you have that with new construction. But you know, things happen. Our first home that we purchased was new construction, and you know, we had things that came up with the AC and they were covered under the first year, and then later we were out of warranty and there was like a small like electrical thing. So you just want to be prepared even with new construction. That's why I always encourage inspections. Of course, the builder does their own inspections, but I always recommend getting your own inspector to do a phase inspection. And that means that somebody will come in, not just when the home is complete, but they'll come in phases. So they'll come before the sheetrock is up, so they can make sure that everything looks good structurally. They'll make sure that the wiring is good, and just, you know, over the course of your build, they will come and make sure that everything is being built correctly. That way the builder has accountability. Now, of course, some builders are better than others, and you know, we can talk about that if you're wondering about a particular builder. But it's just always good to get another set of eyes on your construction project. I always encourage my clients to do that. Of course, it's always up to you, but I always encourage it. Okay, number 4 on my list is if you have something else you want to do that is more important to you. Kind of a simple idea, but you know, maybe you want to go back to school, or maybe you want to travel a lot randomly. You know, you want to travel to Europe, you want to travel wherever across the US. You don't want to have a home base. You want to be location independent. You don't want to be tied down to one particular city. You want to explore a bit. That's a reason not to buy a house, you know. Now, depending on where you're looking, of course, you can always purchase a home as either, you could always, you know, purchase something as an investment. You could lease it some of the time, or do an Airbnb and have it as an option when you're in town. Those are, of course, always options. You know, if you just have other things on your list that are more important to you and you want to invest your time and money into, then perhaps real estate is not, you know, is not the thing for you. Maybe, you know, you don't want something, you know, because even if you do consider an investment in real estate, you know, you do have to be hands-on, unless of course you get a property manager to manage the property for you, then of course it's doable. So if something else is more important to you, then go for it. Okay, number 5, and the last thing on my list, is you haven't prepared. So this one's pretty straightforward. A lot of people will reach out and ask me, you know, kind of what they need to do to be ready. And the first thing I'll say is, well, obviously reaching out to me is wonderful so we can start working together and set up a plan for you. But you definitely want to have your finances in order. So what does your credit score look like? You know, are there some things on your credit that you need to pay off, that you need to work on? Do we need to get that credit score up? Because of course, the best deals that you're going to find on mortgages are going to be if you have the highest credit score, if you have a higher credit score. The higher your credit score, the better your interest rate is going to be. And especially right now, with the way interest rates have been the last year, it's more important than ever. So get your finances in order. Even if you are not ready now and you're like, well, you know, I want to buy in like a few years, I want to buy in 5 years, like get started now. The time passes so quickly. I don't know about you. I can't even believe that 2023 is almost over. Like 2024 is here. Like we're done. Christmas is done. My shopping is done. I've wrapped most of my presents. I think I have a few more to go. But you know, the holidays are here and we're heading into the next year. So by the time you know it, a year or two will go by, and if you haven't been working towards that goal, and if home ownership is an important goal to you, like you need to just get started. I've worked with some incredible lenders, local lenders to Austin, that can absolutely help you. They can, you know, get you pre-qualified, get you fully pre-approved if you're actually ready to go. But if you're not, then they can tell you where you're at, what you can specifically do to improve your credit score, what you can pay off, you know, all of the details about what to do. One little tidbit that I think is pretty interesting, if y'all would like to hear it. The median credit score for mortgage borrowers in the third quarter of 2023 was 770. That is incredible. That is so high, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So of course, if you are what's considered a low risk borrower, you pay on time, you know, you're not late on anything, and you know, you have a history of good payments, then you will be in line for the lowest mortgage rates that are being offered. So one of the things that you want to keep in mind is the minimum credit score that you'll need to have to purchase a home is going to be 620. That's going to be for an FHA loan. So, you know, that's the goal, minimum 620. If you are not there yet, that's okay. Everybody starts somewhere and we can get you there. So let me know how I can help you. The other thing you want to keep in mind is, have you saved up for your down payment, for closing costs, all of those things. You can get a loan with as little as 3% down, even on a conventional loan. And then there's also down payment assistance programs. So there are a lot of resources out there to help you become a homeowner and to invest in real estate. So, you know, we just need to connect you with those resources. One thing to keep in mind though, with the down payment assistance programs is because they're helping you towards that payment, and with that money, it does mean that you have a higher interest rate. So we can look at all of those things. We can give you, you know, spreadsheets that show you, okay, if you use this down payment, if you use down payment assistance and you get this much, then, you know, we can show you all of the different options, so then you can decide what works best for you. But there are a lot of resources out there to help you, so I do want you to know that. So you definitely want to prepare. You want to do all of these things before you even step into a house. I know that getting into the houses, looking at houses is the most exciting part. And I remember when I was first looking at a house, when we were first looking, we were so excited to go to houses. We hadn't even gotten approved, and I feel like we weren't, you know, we probably needed a little more hand-holding. But one of the things you can do, because you don't want to, you know, I usually won't schedule tours with you until you have been pre-approved. And part of that is, you know, obviously we're going into these sellers' homes. A lot of them still live there. A lot of them have children or they have pets. And so they are having to clean up before every showing, get everybody out of the house, leave for, you know, at least 45 minutes so that we can tour. And so we really don't want to do that, and we don't want to disturb the homeowners until you're really serious. And then also because whenever you are ready to submit an offer, we want to have your pre-approval letter. That's something that we will include with your offer once we send it into the listing agent. And that way they know, okay, this buyer has been pre-approved, the lender has everything that they need, and we will be able to close on time. You know, it makes your offer that much stronger so that they know that there aren't gonna be hiccups along the way throughout the transaction. So that's something that we have to have in place before we even step into a showing and just going and seeing houses. But one thing that you can do is you can go and see as many open houses as you want. And I did that when we were first looking because it's so fun. I've always loved looking at houses, even apartments, like when, because I worked in property management for many years. And so we used to go look at apartments. I like the way they were decorated. But yeah, open houses are so fun. And if you're coming to explore Austin, I can make you a tour route for all of the open houses that are gonna be going on a particular weekend, so you can go and explore and, you know, do all of that good stuff and just kind of see if it's also a great way to check out an area. That's one of the other tips that I have for my home buyers is you always want to just go drive by before you even go look. Go see what the neighborhood looks like. Google's great and it is a great resource, but actually driving through is so great because things change over time. You may not see that the neighbor has crazy stuff in their yard, or there's just so much more that you can see. You can go at night, you can see, you know, if it's like really loud or just like what the vibe is. And so I think that's super important, is just driving by, getting a sense of the house, learning the areas, seeing what you're interested in, and then of course just having fun and getting inspiration for decor and all that stuff. So I'm always happy to help with open house lists or tour route lists. Okay guys, well that sums up today's video. I hope this was really helpful to you, a little bit different than our normal like house tour videos, but I thought it would be really helpful because, you know, people ask me all the time, how's the market? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And I think it's important to look at whether right now is a good time to buy for you, because everybody's situations are different, everybody's seasons of life. And so while it may be good for someone else, maybe for you it's not the right time. So it's important to look at all those things. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Of course, as always, you can leave me a comment below. I have my email in the description. My dog is driving me crazy because she's in her house and she's, can you hear her crying? She's so dramatic. Here she is. Let me show y'all. Look at how big she is. I showed her in a video a while back. This is Dottie. She is wild though, guys. She's like super wild. She's gotten really big. We need to get a test because she's half Chihuahua and half I don't know what, but she is a big girl. She's grown a ton. Oh, if you are thinking of moving to Austin, whether it's in the next 30, 60, 90 days, let me know. Let's connect. I would love to help you. I would love to be a resource for you. Guys, thanks again so much for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay connected with me. And I will see y'all very soon in the next video. Bye. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Stop biting me. She's a little dog. Happy holidays. Dottie, are you gonna sing? Happy holidays. Merry bells keep ringing. Happy holidays to you.